So before we begin this episode, we're just going to have to say this. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers every which way. And with that said, let's fucking go.
Go ahead, take it in. You and me, a team.
Why would I go with you?
I could tell you have a sort of don't get too close, I'll only break your heart vibe going here. Let's give the people what they came for. I'm sorry that you had to see that, Yukio.
Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks. I am your host,
I'm
Nick Dorian.
Kelvin.
Good Lord, try to be quick on this. All right. Competition, I see. But we are going to be talking about the film that is on everyone's lips at the moment, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Let's give the people what they came for.
I want to show you something huge.
I don't think you're supposed to say that.
God, I love this part. Wait!
Now, this is a film that, honestly, ever since they started, they announced it. That
Actually,
video.
when was it announced, huh?
When Ryan Reynolds posted a video of him in his house talking about the future of Deadpool, and there was Hugh Jackman that just came in the back, and it was like,
I
"Hey,
remember
Hugh,
that.
you want to be part of it?" Yeah, sure. That was the beginning.
Right.
And
okay.
ever since then, we have been really anticipating this film and what the two of them will pull off. And safe to say, personally, this film exceeded any expectation I had put on it.
Same.
Oh, this was such a good film.
To be fair, when I went into the film, right, I had zero expectations.
Okay.
I had zero. I knew it was gonna be one of the summer blockbusters that you have to like die also you have to watch.
Yeah.
Right. But I went in with zero expectations, and I'm glad I went in with that lens.
Did you watch? That means you didn't watch any of the trailers.
No. I kind of watched like one. Okay, the first one was the one where he was in his house.
Yes.
Right? And then Hugh Jackman, and then another one was like I believe the both of them were on the couch, talking.
That was were they on the couch talking? I think that you might have confused that from all the Instagram videos before the film came out.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the third one was probably like the first one.
Yeah.
The first Deadpool Wolverine trailer.
Yeah.
But I kind of just glimpsed through it.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
I've made it a point to not watch any Marvel MCU trailers at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair, because not to say that the trailers gave a lot away, they really didn't. Like, looking back at it, I was like, actually, every single trailer or teaser footage they put out barely revealed anything about the film.
That's true.
Like, there were a lot of people, especially the last trailer. The last trailer showed us Lady Deadpool as well as X-23. And that was the point that fans were like, oh, they're showing too much. They're showing way too much now. Honestly, they showed nothing at all.
Yeah.
Like, everything, all the cameos that were in it, you are not ready for this. You are truly not ready for the cameos.
Just to double check with you, we are
Yes.
doing a spoiler film.
Yes, we are
Okay,
doing
so I can talk about anything.
It's been about 2 weeks since the film came out,
Okay.
so we said it at the beginning. This is spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film, go and watch it and come back to this.
Nice.
Now, speaking of revealing too much and spoilers especially, before we get into the film, there was something that happened at San Diego Comic-Con, which happened
Dude,
recently.
That is huge news. I saw people because I was seated all the way behind.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched Deadpool yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, and I was seated in IMAX all the way behind, and I see some people in front of it. They were just like hyping it. I was like, "Oh, bro, look!"
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then I was like, "What's going on?" You
Yeah.
know? And then I saw Doctor Doom's
Yes.
picture, but that was before I knew it was.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, dude. I was like, why?
Okay, this is when I did my research.
Okay.
Now, I understand from Marvel's perspective why they wanted to bring him back, because understandably, Marvel is kind of in all sense of the word, a shit show at the moment. Deadpool and Wolverine is the shining glory in the MCU at the moment. But before that, we haven't gotten a lot of good stuff. And the fact that they said, Eternals 2 is not on the cards. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, like,
Yeah.
you wanted to do an Eternals 2 after the bombing that was Eternals? That was surprising enough.
It's unfortunate though.
It is
Like I
unfortunate.
really wanted to enjoy Eternals. Like I really did.
Yeah.
I love lore, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to point it out anymore. I love lore. And Eternal could have been
It could have
one
been.
of the greatest
Yeah.
lore stories for the whole MCU.
But it just failed to deliver, and there's no more sequel. Thank goodness for that. Maybe they might turn up in more MCU projects. That's
Perhaps,
always going to be a
perhaps.
case. But yes, I did my research about the whole Doctor Doom Iron Man connection, and there was the infamous Iron Man story where Doctor Doom essentially became Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do more research, go and do more research. I won't get too much into it, but there is precedence in the comics of Doctor Doom becoming Iron Man. So there is that connection, and there was a what if comic. What if Doctor Doom was Iron Man,
Right,
where
okay.
Tony and Doctor Doom were actually college roommates.
Right.
So I see where they're going. Will they follow that storyline? I'm not sure. It does tie into the Secret Wars comics in that storyline. So the fact that there is Secret Wars, it might be related. But what I am imagining at the moment is it's going to be in different timelines, especially the fact that with Loki, Deadpool, and Wolverine now, especially toying with multiverses
Yep.
and stuff like
Yep.
that, it's unsurprising this is going to be set in a different multiverse where Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it as well. Because in reality, why Doctor Doom came back was because of the whole, crap, I can't remember his name right now. Kang.
Yes, Kang the Conqueror. Oh,
The-
that
the-
big mess.
The actor for Kang.
Yes,
went
Jonathan
through-
Majors.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate what happened to him in real life.
Yeah.
That kind of causes like a little splinter from the
Yes.
MCU itself. Because they were saying, or they did say, that there's huge potential for what Kang has to do in the future of the MCU, right?
Yeah.
But they have to drop him, so they have to find a new big bad.
Yeah.
So with Fantastic Four coming in next year.
Next year.
I see how fitting it is for them to introduce Doom as well.
Wait, I think, no, either next year or the year after, because they're just going to start shooting. So I feel maybe it might be a 2026 release.
2025.
2025. When 2025?
July 25th, 2025.
Oh,
So
shit.
next year.
They're going to film it and do all that under
Yeah.
a year. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, there were inklings that Doctor Doom was going to take over as the big bad once Kang the Conqueror disappeared. When the whole case happened, there was rumors that Doctor Doom would take over. That I think that would have been the only other logical option. Or if they were since they're doing the Fantastic Four film, it might have been Galactus as well.
Yeah.
Since that was sort of teased in Eternals.
Yep. I saw some news about how during they were announcing or revealing Fantastic Four in Hall H.
Yes.
This was yesterday, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. There was a scene in, I think, a trailer or like a screenshot in Hall H where they show a shot of Galactus' head.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw the picture.
I haven't seen it because that's leaked footage. I don't want to see any sort of leaked footage.
Oh.
They did do a Fantastic Four sizzle reel. It has been online. I don't want to watch that because I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, that was private to people in Hall H. I respect Marvel's decision of
Understood.
the privacy of that, so
Understood.
I'm not going to see that. By the way, we're recording this on like the
29th?
29th of July, just in case you're wondering like why we're talking yesterday and this is out in August.
2024, just FYI, 2024.
Yes, 2024. But apart from that major news, the other big thing, which was slightly pissing off a lot of fans of Deadpool and Wolverine, was that literally days after Deadpool and Wolverine released, at Comic-Con, they brought out Wesley Snipes, Jennifer Garner, Channing Tatum, which kind of, if you haven't seen it, that spoiled the hell
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of fans were upset about that. And I don't know what their decision was. Was it a good decision? Sure, because people that have watched it are like, oh, we want to hear more about it. But for people that hadn't watched it, it was kind of a massive spoiler.
I feel like personally,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's a very selfish way to think.
Yeah.
Because like you said, the film has came out about 2 weeks already, right? About
Well, when we're going to
more-
release this
yeah.
2 weeks. But right now, it's only been a few days. I think it's been less than a week that it's been out. It came out last Thursday in Malaysia. It came out last Friday.
Oh.
Actually, to be honest, it came out on the Friday. And I think on the Saturday, that's when they went into Hall H to do their Deadpool panel and reveal all of those.
Okay. Then I
So
take
it's
back
like-
what I say. I take back what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's literally 1 or 2 days after the film came out to the public. not even talking about premiere or whatnot, to the
Right.
public. So I felt that was a bit, ooh.
Where else would they have the opportunity to actually bring out Wesley Snipe, Electra,
Yeah.
and everything else, right? Because when we talk about San Diego SDCC,
Yeah.
that is like the mecca of
Yes.
nerdhood and like geekhood, right?
Yes.
You won't have another chance unless you want to bring them out like next year again, right?
The only other option would be D23, and I feel that would be I think D23 might be in August or September. I'm not sure. Could you pull that up? D23 2024. But if they were to wait for D23, that might also have been too late. So I understand why they brought them out. It's just unfortunate for the public to be like, oh,
August 11th. August 9th through August 11th.
then they could have brought them out at D23.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what their decision was on that, but oh well, it happened. People were upset.
Yeah.
Daijoubu is in Japanese.
One thing I want to say is that since this is a spoiler-filled episode, right? When I saw Wesley Snipes and Channing Tatum and Electra is
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner. When I saw them came out, first and foremost, I felt old. Okay. Second of all, I was like, "Fuck yeah, they are here. They are in this
Yes.
film." Reason why I said I felt old is because my girlfriend is 6 years younger than I am.
Okay.
Okay, so when Blade came out, she was a baby. When Electra and Deadpool,
Daredevil.
Daredevil,
Eh?
Daredevil, yeah,
Yeah.
Electra and Daredevil came out. She was just telling me last night. It's like, oh, now I know why I don't remember these characters because I was 6 years old. And I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely feel old. I definitely feel old, right?
Oh no, now
and
I
then
feel old.
and then Gambit was sorry, Channing Tatum's Gambit was
Yeah.
just there because to my knowledge, if I'm not mistaken, Fox always wanted to do a Gambit film.
Yes.
But that was like 20 years ago and nothing ever came about.
Not 20 years ago. I would say maybe about 10 years ago.
Right.
Because Channing Tatum was really not desperate, but as much as Ryan Reynolds was passionate about Deadpool, wanting that, Channing Tatum was also really passionate about doing
Okay.
a Gambit film. I think this was soon after Days of Future Past or that Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse film. He really wanted to do a Gambit film, and it was in the cards for Fox.
Okay.
It's just, I think when Fox got taken over by Disney, they didn't see a reason to do a Gambit
Right.
film.
Okay.
Which is
okay.
when it fell through. So to see him finally don a very comic accurate suit, it was unbelievably comic accurate and it worked so well. To see him
Yeah.
finally get his Gambit role, oh, that was so wonderful to see.
I also want to add that, during the film itself, they were all introduced in this place in the MCU called the
Void.
right?
Yeah.
This is where I was about to say the TSA.
Not the TSA. That would be a very different Deadpool film.
This is where the TVA put all the unwanted universes to rest.
Yeah.
And then Aloyth come. Aloyth?
Alioth.
Alioth?
Yes.
Yeah, Alioth, goddamn.
Alioth.
Alioth came and kind of like eliminate them in
Yes.
the Void, right? I feel like the Void is such a perfect place for people to introduce lost characters.
What I like to call it is where forgotten characters go to die. Because let's
Okay,
face it,
okay.
X-Men came out in 2000. And I think Liv Schreiber's Sabretooth has overtaken, I want to say Taylor Manning. What's the actor's name that played this Sabretooth? But this Sabretooth has kind of been forgotten. And he was OG Sabretooth. So to bring him back, I thought that was wonderful. Like, it was a good homage.
Yeah, Taylor Mayne.
Taylor Mayne.
Taylor
Okay,
Mayne.
Taylor Mayne.
Yeah.
And the fact that we got other old X-Men characters brought back as well.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
They might not have a massive role in it,
Yeah.
but it was nice to just see them back again. And coming back to Wesley Snipes as Blade. Now, Jennifer Garner, I kind of knew because it had already been revealed that Jennifer Garner is coming back as Elektra.
Okay.
Snipes as Blade, I don't think anyone had been ready to see him come back to Blade because he was massively known as really hard to work with on the Blade set. And after Blade 3 and all the I want to say childish, but like, I don't know if you know the story of he was unwilling to open his eyes, so they CGI'd his eyes to open.
What? Why?
Like it got to that point. Like he was on a hospital table, like a
Okay.
morgue table, and it was a famous story where he just refused to open his eyes. The director said, "At this point, you're gonna open your eyes and start battling," and he was like, "No, I'm not opening my eyes." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, for fuck's
Okay.
sake. And so they had to, if you look back at the footage, they CGI'd his eyes openings.
I just wanna declare something real
Yes.
quickly, and I hope I don't get judged or like burned or put on the stake.
Choose your words very carefully.
I have never watched Blade before in my life.
Not even the first one.
No, not even the first one. Maybe I have, and I was like really young, like really, really young.
All right, Clapperheads.
But,
It's unfortunate at this point that there will be a reshuffling of Clapper Talks because Kelvin Tay is no longer the host of this show after that declaration. You need to watch
Okay,
Blade. Okay.
I
Blade 1 and Blade 2. Blade 3, Trinity. Yeah.
okay.
But Blade 1 and 2, you need to
Okay.
watch those.
I tell you what, because I will be going to Penang, this weekend for
Yes.
a conference, and
Yeah.
on Saturday I actually do have downtime.
Okay.
I will commit to
Yes.
watching Blade 1
Okay.
this coming Saturday.
At least do that for me, my
Okay,
friend.
Okay. I know who Wesley Snipes is. I know who Blade is. I mean comic accurate
Mm.
Blade, right? I know what happened.
Yeah.
I also know that Blade was the catalyst to the whole MCU itself because they were one of the, if not the earliest,
Yes.
Marvel MCU film
Sort
right?
of, yeah.
That actually made superhero movies a thing
Yes.
back then, right? I know all the points, but I've never watched it. Yeah.
Go watch Blade.
Okay.
You won't be disappointed.
I will do that.
Yes. But to see him come back to Blade after we thought he was done with Blade was fucking fantastic. Like in the cinema, I lost it. Like no other cameo. We'll get to another cameo early on in The Void that I really want to talk about. But that one specifically, I was not expecting at all.
I mean, that's one thing about Deadpool. Anything Deadpool, right? Because you won't know who you will be expecting. Number one, Marvel does a very, very good job in concealing cameos.
Yes.
Okay. Number two, it's a Deadpool film,
Yeah.
right? You will never expect who would actually come on screen and
Yes.
who wouldn't. Like in Deadpool 1 or 2, for example, where
The X-Men.
who's that actor? The very popular actor came in a parachute and then he got electrocuted.
Oh, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yeah,
That was
yeah,
two.
right.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt was a cameo. So No
Yes.
one expected that, and his scene was for like a split second, if I'm not
Split
mistaken,
second.
right?
Yeah, you just see his face being electrocuted.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. And if you're not paying attention, you probably wouldn't even know that it was Brad Pitt, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you will never know who would come on screen, especially for any Deadpool film.
Yeah, but the fact is, Wesley Snipes is famously known as just stepping away from Blade. He wasn't going to do it anymore. He was done with that because he had an awful time on Blade Trinity. So I think with that's why it was so shocking to me because I'm like, damn, he's back. But also, yes, damn, I'm old. Because even looking at Snipes, I was like, oh, damn, Blade got old.
Just FYI,
Yes.
Blade first, like Blade 1.
When was Blade 1? 90 what?
Guess.
I want to say 96.
8.
Oh.
1998.
Oh.
That's
26 years ago.
how old am I in 1998?
When were you born?
92. So about 6
You're
years
6
old.
years old?
Yeah, I was about 6 years old.
Then your girlfriend can't have been 6.
Then she was a baby, bro. She was not even born. She's 6 years. My girlfriend is born in 1998. So
You know, that makes me feel even older because you were 6, I was 11.
it's okay, Nick.
So I
So
was borderline teenager when this came out.
when Blade came on screen, although I've never watched the film, I was like, oh my god. Like she was next to me, I was like, oh my god, Blade, Wesley Snipes. And it's just like, who that? Who that? I was like, But then again, movie came out 1998,
Yeah.
right? And then for a long time, Wesley Snipes was not in Hollywood because of the whole IRS thing.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So a lot of people who are not nerds or geeks would probably not know who Wesley Snipes is.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
So again, going back to the whole point, she was like, "Who's that?" And then
Who dat?
she saw Gambit's silly power, throwing cards and explode. She's like, lame. I was like, okay. And then when Electra
I'm
came
sure
out,
you love your girlfriend.
I do
I'm-
very, very much.
I'm not really liking it.
The fact that she was watching the film with me,
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you credit.
Yeah, when Electra came on screen, she's like, "No, I don't remember that." But then I don't blame her. That was all like
Yeah.
pre-MCU, pre-Tony
Weird.
Stark MCU,
Yes.
right? So you can't blame them for not knowing.
But to say
Just-
that
it's-
Gambit's
Nick,
powers
Nick,
are lame.
Nick.
Wait until she gets sliced by a car, then she won't say it's lame anymore.
And explodes.
Yes. But Gambit, okay, coming to his Gambit, I thought he did the Creole New Orleans accent really brilliantly. Like, he was perfect.
I was really, really hoping he would have dropped the line to be like, my name Jeff. I really wanted.
Jeff.
I really was hoping, because when I first heard Channing Tatum's Gambit speaking on screen, I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" Because in the X-Men '97,
Yeah.
he is like this Cajun, right?
Creole.
Right. Creole. And then when I first heard his accent, I was like, "This is weird," but then it makes sense.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, and then Deadpool was like, "I don't understand."
And, and you're like, yep, that makes perfect
Yep.
sense. But honestly, I really honestly hope that what happened with the leaked footage of that Ryan Reynolds, quote unquote Ryan Reynolds, posted, Channing Tatum's Gambit in this film leads on to him getting his own film. Because I think he would do a fantastic Gambit. And honestly, that costume, everything about it works. Everything
I
about it works.
100% agree with you, because there's a lot of times where comic book or like animated series costume just don't work on screen.
Yeah.
Because it just looks so bloody silly.
Yeah, but
Right.
this...
Like, for example, I'm just gonna spoil this for you. Have you ever seen Wolverine's yellow costume in X-Men '97 or any X-Men cartoon?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the yellow cape, no, yellow mask with the black it's
Yep.
like two Batmans kissing.
The two Batmans kissing.
When I
yes.
saw that on screen, I was like, I cannot see it. I cannot see it.
I
but it's
was
there.
able to take that away for
Okay,
a while because
okay.
I think I was too blown away by like,
Okay.
oh shit,
Okay, let's
it's
not go there.
finally real.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there first.
Let's not go there
Let's
yet
not
because there's still one more cameo that I want to talk about.
Yes.
Now, we all kind of had an inkling that Chris Evans might be in this. There were a lot of
Mhm.
reports and whatnot that Chris
Mhm.
Evans was in this. And sure enough, Chris Evans was in this, but not in the caliber that you might think. Now, we all thought, okay, Cap will come back. And sure enough,
Yep.
they were smart about it.
They were fucking
They were
smart about
smart
it, right? In
with
the
the
in the
hood
TVA.
and the poncho.
No.
Oh, no, in the
First,
TVA, yes.
in the TVA where like Paradox.
Yes.
Paradox was like, okay, this is what I want you to do, and then you see on the three screens, you see
Yes.
Cap, right?
Yeah.
And then Deadpool was like saluting Cap.
Yeah.
And then that's like a what shadowing?
A foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing, okay? And then they go to the void, right? He gets teleported to the void.
Yeah.
And then you hear his voice. It's like, And then you see he's covered in a cowl.
Yeah.
Right? And he talks, and then he did the what? Superhero landing.
Yes.
Right? And then okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then the whole Mad Max caravan came.
Oh, I
right?
love the Mad Max reference.
Yeah, right.
Because in the trailer I saw that, I was like, are they gonna
That-
do Mad
yeah,
Max? And
right,
sure
right.
enough, when he pulled Sabretooth's head and like,
Yeah.
you're Furiosa!
And then Mad Max convoy came.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool is like, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. Avengers.
Flame on! Oh,
and
Johnny Storm!
I broke out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my bloody god, man.
It's not Cap, it's Johnny fucking Storm. But
Damn, man.
I had an inkling already because when he took off the poncho, the headpiece of the poncho, I was like, hold up a sec. Why is his hair like that? Like, it was the hair that did it to me.
He was too skinny.
Okay.
He looked too skinny because Cap was jacked. Man.
Yeah,
Cap
that's
was
true.
jacked, right? Yeah.
And also the beard. Like, the beard and the hair. I was like, okay, the beard can't get away because Cap did have a beard in Infinity War. But it was that hair, and I'm like, why would Cap have this hair? So sure enough, when he went flame on, I'm like, It's Johnny Storm!
It was so weird, man, because they played it so well,
Yeah.
building up to the point that you thought he's gonna shout
Avengers
Avengers
Assemble.
Avenge.
Avengers Assemble.
Avengers Avenge.
Avengers Avenge. I mean,
Avengers, right?
I'll buy
right,
that,
right.
yeah. The
And-
dyslexic Captain America.
Okay. So everyone thought that that's gonna happen, and he's like, flame on, and
Yep.
he flew away, and then Deadpool was like, what the fuck?
Yes. But I love that Chris Evans came back to this because I feel this was a way for Chris Evans to sort of let loose again, especially in the post-credit scene where he just swore like a sailor. And I'm like, yes, because Captain America was good boy, soldier boy kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny Storm is just a lets loose foul-mouthed teenager that just, well, not teenager, but young adult that just lets loose. And I'm so glad that Chris Evans came back to Johnny Storm.
There's one cameo that I really want to talk about.
Which one?
Henry Cavill.
Oh shit! How can I forget Henry Cavill? Yes.
Henry Cavill's Wolverine. Oh man. Oh man.
Uh-huh. And I love how how Deadpool was like, "We'll treat you better than those guys down the road." I'm like, yes. So technically, we can officially say that Henry Cavill's in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, DC.
I like how in my notes here, right? I kind of picked it up from Game Rant.
Mhm.
It says here Henry Cavill as Wolverine, the former Superman of the DCEU. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
But when I saw Henry, I'm a huge fan of Henry Cavill, not because he played Superman,
Yeah.
but because he's a geek and he's a nerd. at heart, right?
Yes.
We're talking about D&D, we're talking about Warhammer.
Building his own computer.
Building his own computer,
Yeah.
right? He is like the pinnacle of geekdom, right?
No, but
And-
no geek should be that handsome and strong. I'm sorry, no geek should be that good looking.
and I also just came off another film he played a while ago called the Gentlemanly Warfare.
Oh, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yes.
I just watched that a few nights ago. I loved it.
Oh my god, man.
It's perfect, Guy
So
Ritchie.
yes. Thank you very much. Right, and
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. And when I saw him as Wolverine, I did remember seeing on Reddit where people actually, were actually discussing who would have played Wolverine if Hugh Jackman left. Right?
Yes.
And people actually Photoshop his face
Yeah.
into Wolverine, and it makes sense.
I think his name was definitely in the cards. Like, I know there were a lot of names that were pulled out. Names like Daniel Radcliffe was one of them. Taron Egerton was also...
Like Harry Potter.
Yes. Then Taron Egerton also was quite a front runner to be Wolverine, which would make a bit of sense. And Henry Cavill's name also was popped up, along with, and I'm so disappointed they didn't do this, Danny DeVito. I'm sorry, when Logan ended, I don't know how this happened, but it slowly became a meme of Danny DeVito being the next Wolverine.
Okay.
And you could have had an opportunity. That scene when he was finding the Wolverine variants and there was a short Wolverine, I'm like, come on, that could have been Danny DeVito. But Henry Cavill coming into Deadpool to be Wolverine, I kind of expected it, but didn't at the same time. But honestly, he was a perfect Wolverine.
He was a perfect Wolverine.
I mean, no
yes.
one's more perfect than Hugh Jackman, but if there was a close second, it would be Henry Cavill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seeing the back of him with all that muscles, I'm
Yes,
like...
while he
"Ooh."
was fixing the bike and
Yeah.
everything, and then he turned and it's like, what? Excuse
Especially with
me?
the cigar.
Yeah,
It was like perfect
excuse me.
comic Wolverine. Like, it was straight out of a comic book page Wolverine. And speaking of which, if you don't mind me saying, like, that sequence when he was going back in time, to which they were using The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News, which is famously from Back to the Future, so I almost jizzed my pants at that point. When they used all those different Wolverine variants, I love how it was a good homage to very iconic Wolverine comics. Like, that image of him on the X.
Yes, that was a comic book cover as well.
It was honestly ripped out of the page, and they did it so well. Like, fans of the comics will be massively overjoyed with this film. And to introduce Patches as well, I thought, damn, we saw that in the trailer, but damn.
What is the
Patches.
reference to Patches?
So Patches was a Wolverine variant.
Okay.
It was
comic book.
Comic book.
Okay,
Comic book.
okay.
He was almost like a spy kind of thing. I won't delve too much into it because we won't have enough time. This will go on for like an hour and a half. Go to the comics, but he famously had he was almost like a James Bond kind of Wolverine. Had an eye patch and gambled and stuff like that. It's a very interesting storyline. I would highly recommend the Patches storyline if you can find it. But people were secretly hoping that was Daniel Radcliffe, me included. But
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm okay the fact that it was just Hugh Jackman as Patches. But the Hugh Jackman as the short Wolverine, I thought it was fantastic.
I mean, it's funny, right? Because people always say that Hugh Jackman is short.
yeah.
And they were like, you know what? I'm going to add it into this film as well. Yeah.
Short Wolverine.
Just this morning itself, I saw this. Do you know this meme?
Oh, yeah. They posted up this meme as well of Wolverine on the bed holding a...
They actually did like
Yeah,
a
I
real
saw
life one.
this.
I love this so much, man.
I loved... Okay, I'll remind me, because I'm not going to get into it now.
Okay.
But remind me to talk about the marketing for this film.
Right. Okay.
Because for the marketing for this film, just like every other Deadpool film, has been spot on. Really spot on. But we'll talk about that in the second half of this episode. But coming back, okay, we've talked about the cameos. We've talked about the Wolverine variants. Let's get on to the actual story itself.
Wait,
You've been chosen for a higher purpose.
to be a hero among heroes.
The Marvel Universe is about to change forever.
You mind putting your mask back on?
Super hard to eat while I'm wearing it.
It's super hard to eat when you're not.
I am Marvel Jesus.
I feel, and don't get me wrong, this is a great, fantastic film, and we're all here for Deadpool and Wolverine. I just felt at points, intentions were kind of shallow. Now, what I mean by that,
Okay.
and this was actually brought to my attention by my best friend Aaron Turner, who's probably watching this. Hello, Aaron. He told me that the intention of Wade Wilson being all depressed because he couldn't join the Avengers
Okay.
felt very sort of one-dimensional in that sense. Like, it didn't make sense for him to be this depressed about not joining the Avengers and finding his purpose. Like, I felt that this film could have expanded on the real depth of why he's really searching for his purpose. Because we kind of see it at the beginning. We kind of see glimpses of it in the middle. And then right at the end, he's like, oh, I found my purpose. But it wasn't really explained a lot, which is not a bad thing because we're all here for Deadpool and Wolverine. But compared to Deadpool 2, which really delved into the depression of him losing Vanessa, like that was constant throughout. This wasn't. That whole thing about finding his purpose wasn't really relevant throughout the whole story.
You think so?
I think so. Like, thinking back to it now, it wasn't as in-depth as it was with Deadpool 2. But to be fair, that's not really what we're there for.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's why I'm like, I'm at two camps with this.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I see a point where in Deadpool 3, he was like, oh, I'm sad because I couldn't be an Avenger,
Yeah.
right? But then his purpose was just wanting people to want him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Deadpool as a character has always been this asshole, the merc with the mouth, right?
Yes.
And he just runs his mouth. And of course, people will be like, what the fuck you talking about? man?"
Yeah.
Right? Even Cable in
Yes,
Deadpool
Deadpool
2 was kind of annoyed with how much he's talking, right?
Yeah.
And maybe Happy Hogan this
Yeah.
time around was annoyed with him talking so much crap as well.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just a very misunderstood character.
Oh, he is.
Right?
Like, from the comics, he is
No,
very much misunderstood
I'm not
as well.
talking about the comics. Maybe
In the films.
in the film, right?
Mm.
Maybe in the film he is just a very misunderstood character because he always has been like this anti-hero.
Yes.
Right? People don't know if he's good or bad because at the end of the day he was always a mercenary.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like, again, maybe because I went into the film with zero expectations. I know I'm not here for the story. I know I'm here for, a good time.
Yeah.
I know I'm here for cameos.
Yeah.
And I know I'm here for a lot of surface level cheap jabs.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I
Yes.
expected. That's why I was completely fine going to the film because, again, these kind of films is like watching Minions, for example.
Yeah.
Right? You don't watch Minions for the plot. You watch Minions because your niece, your nephew, or your kid wants to watch a cartoon.
Yeah.
Right, and this is one example for you to actually have an excuse to go to the cinema and watch.
Yeah.
That's how I see. I'm not comparing Deadpool to Minion. Please don't flame me in the comments. I am just saying films like this, you don't. Okay, fine. Maybe there's another film, Expendables, for example.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole Expendables
Yep.
franchise. You
Yep.
go in. You don't go in for the fucking plot, man. You
No,
go in for like big masculine men with like bigger guns and,
And
like boom here,
violence.
boom and
Yes.
violence, right? That's how I see. That's how I see Deadpool. Okay, not like Minions. I'm sorry. Okay,
No, okay.
right?
You have a point there, and that was also my argument to Aaron. Is like, we're not really here for the story. We're just here to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, plot lines aside, storylines aside, it is a fantastic film because all we're seeing is Deadpool and Wolverine kill each other, argue with each other, and go on an adventure. That's essentially what
Yep.
we're there for. Is it the most perfect film in the world? Now, don't kill me. Is it the most perfect Deadpool film? Yes and no. Like, the plot line has a bit of holes here and there, but again, it's all forgiven because this is really a fan service film. This is the film
Yep.
that we have been
you
waiting
go.
for and has truly delivered in every single checkbox.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. We don't need a massively deep story like we did
Yep.
with Deadpool 2. It's fine. We're here for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep. Right now, Deadpool and Wolverine is 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 56% on Metacritic,
Okay.
80% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 96% of Google user like this film.
Mm.
Now, going back to the last episode, you asked me one question. What about the audience score?
Yes.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, it is 79% critic score, all right, 97% audience score. So if you want to be very critical about this film, right, is this good cinema? My answer is no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is this good cinema? I'm talking about like Citizens of Kane or like
Yeah. Wait, hold the phone a sec. Citizens of Kane? Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Right? I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names, Nick Dorian.
I want to see that film
Alright.
now. Citizens of Kane.
Citizens of Kane, right? Is this good cinema? No.
No.
Right? But is this the perfect film for geeks who actually, go through like every explainer video
Yes.
after they watch every comic book lore,
Yes.
RIP comic historian. Okay. I watch a lot of comic historian for all this lore
Yeah.
series and stuff, right? Is this a good film for these kind of people?
100% yes.
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 Right. Again, you don't go in for like, great theater or like great drama. This is just full on like bam, 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 bam. Fun time.
And with that, we're going to take a break. Now, during the break, I was scrolling my Instagram and I literally popped up from Screen Rant that basically said that Kevin Feige confirms that yes, one day Hugh Jackman will be recast as Wolverine. And quoting him, I think these characters will be around for another 100 years, long after all of us. Now, that's an interesting thought because he said that one day, and most likely that one day, just like what Deadpool said in the film, Hugh Jackman will play this role until he's 90. So that one day will come long after he's passed on and gone on to another realm. But I have a strong feeling this isn't the last time we'll see Wolverine. This is not the last time we'll see Deadpool. We're going to see them possibly again in the MCU. And the biggest hint of that is that small little snippet on the screen of the TVA showing Deadpool being held by Thor.
Yes.
Now, that scene has been stated that it is coming. It's from a future film. We just don't know which one it is yet.
Right.
So, and I know it might be Secret Wars because of the fact that there's that sequence when Deadpool is lying on the ground before Wolverine comes out to basically lift him up, where there's a Secret Wars comic in the corner. I don't know if you noticed that. It was a blink and you miss it, but there was a cover page of the Secret Wars comic on the ground. So, this isn't going to be the last time we're seeing Deadpool for sure. Will it tie into Secret Wars? I'm almost 80% sure it will tie into Secret Wars somehow. And that scene, I'm calling it here first.
Okay.
It's possibly going to be either in the recently announced Secret Wars film or Doomsday.
This one.
Bingo. That's the one. So it
I'm
might
just
be
gonna
in
put
that.
it somewhere here.
Yeah. I'll put that in you in the assets.
Okay.
But that will possibly lead into Secret Wars. And recently announced it is the Russo brothers coming back, which is another thing that I wanted to get to.
They are the Avengers of MCU. Like
Yes.
the real MCU Avengers.
And that's what I wanted to get to in terms of like Marvel knowing what they're doing. They know that they need to get their fans back, and what better way than to get RDJ back as well as the Russo brothers.
I feel like in the film itself they did jab a lot, you know. It's
Of
like
course.
Deadpool was telling Wolverine, for example, it's like you are joining at a very low point of MCU, right?
yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, they actually left that in, and it's not a lie because
It's not.
because after Endgame,
Yeah.
it's kind of been downhill.
Yeah.
Right. Not only just the MCU, but the TV series as well. You know.
Okay, to be fair, Loki was great.
Not all of them.
Yeah, not all
Not
of them.
all of them. Yeah.
I will say Loki, Moon Knight, WandaVision, I really enjoyed those series.
Okay.
The rest,
Yeah.
And-
For me,
Knight.
Moon Knight is kind of in the meh category as well.
Okay,
I did
alright.
not enjoy Moon Knight. Yeah.
And the fact that we're getting what from the trailer at least Agatha's series looks like proper horror. I'm like, okay, this could be interesting.
It's like horror musical, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. I think there'll be
Yeah.
a few songs in
Yeah.
there, but it looks proper horror, which I'm very interested in. But Marvel has been at a low point. Like, tell me, post Endgame, what Marvel film has stood out for you?
Deadpool.
I mean,
yeah.
for me, Shang-Chi. And that's only because of Tony Leung. That's
Okay.
only because of Tony Leung.
Okay.
But past that, I'm struggling to think of any MCU film past Endgame that has really made me remember like, oh, this was a damn good film, apart
Yeah.
from Shang-Chi. So hopefully with the Russo brothers back and after Deadpool and Wolverine, things might get better. I don't have high hopes,
Hopefully,
but
yes.
hopefully. And guys, calm down with the whole Deadpool and Wolverine has saved the MCU. Look,
Marvel, Jesus.
like it's not saving the MCU. I'm calling it here first. It hasn't saved the MCU. It's a shining point in the MCU, but I don't think it has saved the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Because all other Marvel films cannot be like
Oh,
Deadpool
yeah.
and Wolverine because it's so in its own category
Yep.
of R-rated, letting loose, poking fun at Marvel and Disney. No other film can do that.
Yeah.
Blade is gonna be R-rated if that ever picks up off the
Yeah,
ground.
that is with Marshall
Ali.
Yeah.
And I love how Wesley Snipes' Blade literally said, "I'm the only Blade." And I'm like, right now the way things are going with this Blade, it might be true.
Yeah, it may be true.
It may be true.
Yes.
Sure, they're starting shooting, but the pre-pro for this has been an absolute nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But moving past that, what I really wanted to talk about was the marketing, like I said in the
Okay.
first half of this
Okay.
film. Marketing for Deadpool has been off the chain. They have gone beyond just the film itself. They have done things like the popcorn bucket, the infamous popcorn bucket, quote unquote, designed by Deadpool, which was a play on the Dune bucket where it was just Deadpool's mouth wide open and you just reaching into his mouth.
Just for context, the whole Dune bucket when it came up, people just reference it as a flashlight.
Pretty much.
Let's just put it out there, right?
It
Let's
was
just
a
put
very
it out there.
painful flashlight, but
Yes.
one nonetheless.
Right.
So there was that. Yes.
And another one,
Yes.
I don't know if you are familiar with this, but the Deadpool/Wolverine Xbox
Oh,
controller.
I was just going to get to that. Oh, that was nice and juicy.
I really want that controller.
I really wanted
It's
to.
gonna be fucking expensive.
It
but
is.
I really want
I
it.
really want that. And then also they did in I think it was one of the trailers, there was a blink and you miss it QR code
Okay.
where it led to Ryan Reynolds in a voiceover booth doing this long disclaimer for Deadpool and Wolverine. Go and find it. I'm not going to say it because it is brilliant. It's this long rant about how it's going to be an R-rated film. Don't bring your kids to it. They're going to be massively in nightmare fuel and stuff like that. But go and find that if you can. It should be on YouTube somewhere.
If we can find it, we'll probably just add the QR code here.
Yeah, I'll try and
somewhere,
find it for you. But that was genius. And then another one is that in certain cinemas in the States, I think, there was the phone.
Yes.
Turn off your phones. Where I thought, honestly, that was just having Deadpool and Wolverine telling people to turn off their phones. That again was brilliant. And the 101 trailers that they kept putting out.
That besides that, another amazing marketing strategy. I don't know if you realize this as well, but Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds,
yeah.
right, was on almost every bloody YouTube channel out there.
Oh,
They
yes.
were doing collaboration after collaboration, not only in the States, but in the UK and in
Korea as
in
well. I think,
Korea as
yes.
well. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, they were really all over the
Yep.
place. And then also, they were guest hosting for the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. They did a whole bunch of press that I
Yep.
think only the two of them can do. Like, let's face it, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have a wonderful friendship, and watching the two of them do anything is great to watch. So the fact that they were able to put them, like they were agreeing to put them in almost every small little thing that was out there, was a genius marketing tactic.
Do you,
Because
do you know the company behind it?
wait, what do you mean?
The company running the entire campaign?
Who?
So there's this company in Canada
Okay,
called Maximum Effort.
that's Reynolds' company.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's Reynolds'
Exactly,
company.
right?
Maximum Effort.
Yeah. So it's like a Maximum Effort. Their Aboot page. It's literally
A
called.
boot page.
It's literally called their
Aboot,
Aboot page,
yes.
right? Maximum Effort makes movies, TV series, content, ads, and cocktails for the personal amusement of Hollywood star Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
We occasionally release them to the general public,
Yeah.
right? So I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm just running on the assumption that Maximum Effort was just running the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because with Ryan Reynolds helming it, bro, the possibilities which we've seen,
Yeah.
right, from the popcorn bucket to the Xbox, come on,
The Xbox controller. I want
come
that.
on, right, and the wide array of non-stop content that they have been collaborating
Yes.
with.
And not
Mix-
only that, looking at Malaysia in general, you had the massive Deadpool
Yeah,
thing on
yeah.
a van touring the whole
Yep.
of the city center. And also TT Racing, which it makes really good chairs. They are really comfortable chairs, TT Racing. They're one of my favorite chair brands in Malaysia. They make awesome chairs. Sponsorship deal. They also made a Wolverine
Edition.
and Deadpool chair, which I really want. Hi, TT Racing. I love you. I really want that chair. I'm sorry. I really want that Deadpool chair. But they also did that in Malaysia. And let's not forget the keychain, the little, what do you call it? Not bracelet. Oh my goodness. What is that thing
Dog
that you
tag?
put it right? No. The
chain,
necklace. Words, Dorian, words. Necklace. The necklace of the best friends. Little
Okay,
thing.
yes. The heart-shaped one, right?
heart-shaped one.
The Wolverine and the Deadpool
Yes,
one.
which
Okay.
TGV is now doing. If you buy indulge tickets, you'll get that as well. And there are these what do you call it? Deadpool in an airplane air freshener for your car.
Oh, yeah. The one by a local company as well. Yep.
Yes. So honestly, like marketing and publicity for
And
this.
just FYI, that's just only in Malaysia.
That's only in Malaysia. Heaven knows what's in other countries
Yep.
as well. But the fact that this is everything has been put out there for marketing. They have spent no expense on marketing this film as if they needed it in the first place, because Deadpool and Wolverine, that was enough for us to go to the films anyway.
Yep.
But the fact that they did all that, I thought was genius. So I really applaud Maximum Effort and whoever's doing the marketing here for Malaysia, Marvel Malaysia as well. I really applaud them for their efforts. They really put maximum effort into this. See what I did there? See? Maximum effort? Yeah. I had to. After and this was off camera, after your lame Limp Biscuit joke, let me have one as well.
Fine, fair enough. It's a 1-1.
But at the end of the day, Deadpool and Wolverine is the quintessential Deadpool film. It is straight out of the comic books. If you're a fan of the comic books, if you're a fan of the Marvel films, and even if you're not, like I was telling you about this, you took your girlfriend, I took my wife, and safe to say, I think both of them are not as in tune with the Marvel universe as we are. And despite that, they still enjoyed this film massively. Like, they might have not gotten a lot of the references and inside jokes, but it didn't matter because it was still an enjoyable film nonetheless.
For sure.
It's incredibly fun, and for fans like myself, like you, it was good to see Hugh Jackman put on the suit after 24 years. That was brilliant to see.
The right suit, just FYI, the right
suit.
Yep.
By the way, I'm sure you've seen this already. We've gotten Hugh Jackman ripping off his shirt, and we got the full-blown moment. And also, you've got Dogpool, which people seem to love as well. Dogpool.
I have one thing that I want to mention. I'm
Yes.
very upset that Dino Pool was not in here.
I have a Dino. I said the same thing because I don't know if anybody's been watching.
Funko.
If you've been watching this and haven't watched the ClapperCon review videos, why? I'm massively disappointed. Go and see that, please. It's here. Go and see that. But if you look at my background, I have a Dino Pool Funko Pop, because I love Dino Pool. And I was disappointed that he was not part of the Deadpool core. Oh, before we end, also cameos, Blake Lively as Lady Deadpool.
Lady Deadpool,
and
yes.
Matthew McConaughey as Cowboy Deadpool.
What?
That was McConaughey. You didn't know?
No.
This is why you read the credits. McConaughey was Cowboy Deadpool.
What?
Yes. And also, there was one of the Wrexham FC players who was wearing the Welsh Deadpool, Paul Mullins. And Rob McElhenney also had a cameo as a TVA member, one of the TVA soldiers, but you never saw his face anyway, but he was there. But yeah, what was I getting to? Dino Pool? And yes, so Deadpool and Wolverine is a quintessential Deadpool film. If you haven't seen it already, why are you listening to this in the first place? Because we've practically spoiled everything for you. But I will say this as a closing statement. If this was the final ever Deadpool film, I'm actually okay with that. Not the final Deadpool appearance, but the final Deadpool film, I'll be okay with that. If this is the last time we see the two of them, I'm okay with that too. This was a perfect ender, a perfect closer to the Deadpool trilogy.
Yep.
If you want to put it that way.
I would put it this way.
Yeah.
This is a very nice, soft reset
Mm.
for not only the MCU, but also X-Men,
Yeah.
Wolverine, and whatever we can expect in the future of the MCU.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of X-Men, sorry. Another last thing. I love how they had that little homage to the Fox universe. It was almost like a nice goodbye to the whole
Yes.
Fox universe.
Yes.
Ghost Rider was surprisingly missing from that montage, but it's okay. But I love that they just said goodbye to good
Yep,
riddance in the
yep.
background.
Just for context, it's a goodbye because Disney bought over, right?
Yeah, Disney bought over
Okay,
Fox. So
okay.
essentially, like, this really is the end of the Fox Marvel universe.
Okay.
Because let's face it, Deadpool did come from the Fox universe, so did Wolverine.
For further context, this is also why we did not see any spiders, because that is under Sony.
That's under Sony.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's under Sony. So we saw things like Fantastic Four, of course, the X-Men films. That was all under Fox. So it was a nice goodbye. And this truly is the end of the Fox Marvel universe as we know it. So yeah, that was our full spoiler review of Deadpool and Wolverine. If you've listened to this, you've obviously seen it. Go and see it again. I'm pretty sure the two of us might go and see it again at some point. But go and watch Deadpool and Wolverine again. I'm not going to tell you to watch it now because you've clearly watched it. But go and watch it. I'm so happy with this film. I'm so pleased with this film. It's everything that I could have expected and more. I can't wait to see if they do a sort of Blu-ray, what they'll do with the Blu-ray discs. If they'll do a full trilogy of Blu-ray discs, I will certainly buy that. I'm sure with their marketing scheme, they're going to come up with something fun for the Blu-ray. So I'm heavily anticipating that now as well. So yes, go and see Deadpool and Wolverine. It's fun.
How many claps would you give
I
this?
forgot about this
Yes.
clapper meter. Yes. Okay, on the clapper meter, I will give it a solid 9 claps.
Okay.
9 claps out of 10.
Okay.
And that's the only reason it's not a 10 is because of the whole plot line and the characters and whatnot.
I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, and the missing point 1.5 is also because of the plot. It's a bit messy in my opinion. It's a bit messy, but again, I'm not here for the plot.
So that will be an average of 8.7.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good enough.
So go and watch it. And as always, you can check us out, ClapperCon, at all social media. It's all here. ClapperCon on TikTok, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Go and follow those social medias for more updates. Where can you find RRP?
At RRP Malaysia.
There you go. So until next time, I am Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
Keep watching the movies.
Take care.
Let's give the people what they came for.
I want to show you something huge.
I don't think you're supposed to say that.
God, I love this part. Wait!
Nobody knows.
Everybody knows.
Get your spectral sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
Rated R.